Welcome to the Furlough Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing. And our mission is to equip people to invest wisely in both property and people so that together we can build our wealth while improving communities. I'm James, and this is my wife, Jessie.
I'm here. Yay.
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty pumped about the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, I've been watching some the World Championships, trials, whatever people placing. For whatever reason, YouTube thinks I want to watch gymnastics and diving, which they're probably pretty right.
You're right. You do.
That's what I like to watch.
How about this? So I'm working on a project right now, and it's been involving trashing out an entire house. I have almost completely filled a 30-yard dumpster.
Oh my gosh.
And as you can imagine, I've almost listened
garbage.
to all of my I've fully caught up on all of my podcasts, and I started a new audiobook. I'm really excited about it. It's an audiobook about Timothy Keller.
Ooh.
But it's his biography.
Oh,
but
that's probably really good.
Today was the first time that I found out about the Summer Olympics because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about it in the news, and I was like, oh. So that's how out of the news I am.
Wow.
No idea until earlier today.
Yeah.
Had I
Olympics
not had that happen,
Paris.
you would have been like, Olympics, and I would have been like, really? So I didn't even know where they're at. So it's in Paris.
Paris.
Okay. All right. Cool. Something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Is that the one where they do swimming, which everyone gets into and I don't understand? Okay.
Yeah, it's swimming, track and field, gymnastics, diving.
Okay.
I don't know. There's probably a smattering of other things.
Yeah, I think the nice part about those sports work well in today's clickonomics. Like, give me the shorts. Like, you can watch a full swimming race in a minute.
Yeah, it's a short
two.
one. Sure.
And whereas, as opposed to hey, I'm going to watch an entire basketball game or softball game or
right. Okay.
something like that. So the sports that go fast, and I put
Does
a lot
basketball
of
and
track
softball
and
happen
field.
in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When Olympics do those happen in? Summer or
Summer,
winter?
I'm pretty sure. I don't.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't watch those ones. So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Right. And I think that's the majority of people, honestly, because especially like us, we don't have a subscription, or heck, we don't even have time to watch it. So
I watch clips.
So swimming
I did watch this.
and track and field. My point is, those work well for clips on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can
It's
watch
true.
the entire thing in a few minutes.
It's true. Or one particular event.
Yes.
In seconds. So, but okay. Last thing. I know this isn't the topic.
Because that was my perfect transition. But keep going.
So good. You can loop back. It might still be. I watched this side by side of the top 100 gymnasts in worlds.
Okay.
And their vault, just their vault.
Okay.
Their top vault, all 100. And it was all 100 in a row, so it was seconds for each one. And it goes all the way through to the first. And it's so incredible to watch. Okay, this is the girl who placed 100th all the way through. And then Simone Biles is number one, of course. But just the distinction between watching that progression and the power and the speed. And
Is it obvious or
are
are
they
they
yeah.
really close?
No, it's
Okay.
obvious. You can see the transition at about 7th or 8th place.
Okay.
There's this jump in oh, you are a different caliber of athlete.
Oh, interesting.
And then that top 3 is just this is ridiculous. And Simone Biles was oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's double the height of everybody who vaulted.
Yeah.
It's just this is incredible. I have no idea how
That's cool.
anyone competes with that.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I don't know. That's cool.
It was pretty fascinating to watch because typically you watch just one gymnast and then
Do they do overlays, or they just had how did you know that hers was twice as much? Was it the same angle for everything?
Yeah, it was the same angle for everything, and they had the gymnast and their name and their ranking, and
yeah, okay, all right. Because I know
was the same angle.
One of the YouTube channels that I love watching is John Boy Media, and he primarily focuses on baseball. And one of the things he'll do is he'll say, "Okay, they called that a strike, but here's why the player was upset about it. He's been calling it a ball all game." And what he'll do is he'll actually overlay and semi-transparent the video, so you can watch them all and go, "Look, this one's a ball, this one's a strike," and he's and they're right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Which honestly, when you think about real estate, it's something that's super helpful because you have all these different properties, all these different deals, and so it's really helpful to put them into the same structure so that you can actually compare all of them.
Same filter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's not what I want to talk about. Instead, I want to try a different transition. That's all right. So we just came back from a camping trip.
Yep.
Or recently, yeah. And it just got me thinking there's a lot of similarities between camping and investing in real estate, whether actively or passively.
All right.
Yeah.
You are like the
And I like-
master at creating analogies.
Yes.
So
So I have, I have 10 and a half of them.
10 and a half.
And a half is because I actually have like 2 stabs at one.
Interesting.
And so
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know which one's going to feel better. We're going to try it out.
Okay. This is
And,
interesting.
yeah. So 10 ways in which camping is illustrative, is analogous, is parallel to passively investing in real estate.
Okay.
So next time you're camping or you're thinking about, okay, how does it work? What's the mindset? If you think about some of the similar mindsets of camping, you can go, okay, apply that towards real estate investing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because, most people have been camping at some point.
Right.
So they can grasp that idea.
Yeah. So exactly. All right. So number one, here's how I think I want to try to structure it is I'm going to say what it is, what we do in camping, and then you'll kind of be like, okay, how is this similar for real estate?
Okay.
And we may air launch that plan very quickly. We'll see, because you take us down
out of
a
left
different
field.
path. All right, so in camping, for this particular trip, we planned out our trip 6 months in advance, and we considered during those 6 months all the necessary food and supplies and activities.
Okay.
So similarly,
Yes. Similarly,
passive real estate investing.
in real estate investing, it's not like a spur of the moment decision. There's some planning
Yeah.
and some lead up. You gotta and it's beneficial to kind of have everything lined out so that when you're camping, when you're in the woods, it's all figured out. You don't have to make a decision then.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're closing on a property, you want to make sure the paperwork is in order and funds are there and you know ahead of time what the deal entails and financing and
Yeah. So I say similarly, once you decide to invest in real estate, unlike say the stock market where you can just be like, I'm going to open an account, I'm going to buy
Right.
something that's funded in like 3 days done. Similar to camping, there's often a lag. It's very rare that you're like, I want to do this, and then boom, there's a deal tomorrow.
makes sense.
It can happen, but oftentimes, it's a 6 to even 12-month lag time between, okay, I want to do it to when the sponsor finds a deal and you can invest in it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
So
camping
you maybe
requires-
have your money like pledged or
not even
what do
necessarily.
you even call that?
But
They're like, yeah, if you find a deal, I'll give you X amount.
committed is
okay,
the
that's
soft
committed.
soft commit is the term.
But then there's that
Yeah,
preparation.
but then there's still like that. And in that time, you're learning about the investment, what's going on, how am I actually going to transfer my funds, all that kind of stuff.
That makes sense.
There you go. That's the first way.
I like it.
Right? It
Yeah,
works. All right,
makes
number
sense.
2. In camping, the journey to the campsite and the process of setting up are integral parts of the camping experience, not just the time spent at the site. So, in real estate investing,
I feel like that's very similar to the first one.
yeah.
Like the setup matters.
Well, so
part of
okay,
the
so the first
journey.
one is there is a time delay, and you got to be okay with that, right? That's the similarity. In this one, it's saying, the setup is just as important as the investment itself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I mean, one of the things I did getting ready for camping is like I pull the bin out and I open it and we have this checklist.
Yeah.
And I make sure like, okay, do we have this in the bin? Do we have this in the bin? Do we have this in the bin? Because it's like, you don't want to get to your campsite and be like, we don't have bug spray. There's mosquitoes everywhere,
Yeah, which is why I've got my 196 question vault that you
Yeah.
can use to ask a sponsor before investing in the deal. That is that equivalent of the
Going
journey
through the
down.
list.
You're going
Yeah.
through all the stuff, making
Yeah.
sure you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, there you go.
Interesting.
Number 3. This is going to be interesting. I thought of some good ones. So camping often involves simplifying life, focusing on basic needs like shelter, food, and safety, leading to a deeper appreciation of these essentials.
Okay.
So, similarly, when investing in real estate,
All right. This might be totally off.
yeah,
But the way I think about it is like similarly in real estate, you can boil a deal down to like, what are the basics of a deal?
Yeah.
Does this make sense? It's like, yeah, of course, you could go way up here and do some huge, apartment complex, bazillion-dollar thing, or some super simple, house flip, super tiny, and it's way less money, But it's like both of those have this like basics. What are the essentials?
Yeah.
Like what is that? Food, water, shelter,
Yeah.
like necessity
Yeah.
in real estate.
Totally true. And I think I would build on top of it is figure out what are those 3 to 5 things that are important to you when evaluating a deal, because
sense.
real estate can get overwhelming really, really quick.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, there's 10 things going on with the market itself, and then you have the property condition and all the different pieces within a condition. Then you have the tenants and the situation with tenants, both in terms of like what's the market doing, what's the legal landscape, what's going to look like in the future. There's often a construction plan, there's financing, there's legal, there's so much stuff. You can like, oh my gosh, how do I process all that and that become overwhelming? And so what I would say, and again, my 196 question ball helps kind of clarify, here are the things that are really important. And to figure out like, okay, what really is important to me? And some of the senior metrics, if you will, is going to be what's your measurement for this was a good return? Is it an average annual return? Is it an IRR? Is it an earnings multiple? Those are kind of like your big 3. And then you might have things like, well, is cash flow important to me? Is value growth important to me? There's like the massive one, in my opinion, is can I trust the sponsor? Like that's a huge one. Boil it down to those types of things.
Yeah.
In the same way that you simplify it. Do you remember this? When we first got started investing,
I think this is just what I was thinking of.
I had a big spreadsheet and I probably had like 20 different metrics. And what is it that you would tell me? Do you remember?
I was like, does it make money today?
That was it.
That's it. And even further than that, I was like, I don't even like, I get bogged down by the numbers. I overthink it. I was like, can you just make me a box that like, if it's red, I'm going to say no. If it's green, I'll say yes.
Yeah. And that was what we boiled it down to, which was, it was the monthly cash flow number
did it cash
before
flow?
taxes and appreciation and depreciation.
That's
all those
all
things. That was it.
Like,
Which
had
turned
to
out
boil
to
it
be
down.
a really good metric that you chose.
Sure.
And that's why it's important to choose the good ones. But yeah, that was how you got started. Now today you're a little more like, okay, I can tell me more about it. But yeah, so there you go. That is number 3.
Cool.
Got to simplify things down. You can't try to take in everything. It's way too hard.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah, especially as a passive investor. Like, just figure out what's
Especially
important.
If you have a Prius,
Stick to it.
the van was really nice.
What?
When you're camping, you can't pack everything.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, number 4. The emotional investment in planning and experiencing a camping trip can lead to significant personal satisfaction and joy. So similarly,
I think just replace camping with real estate investing. You know, like in so many aspects of real estate investing, you're growing your money, which is like, yeah, okay, that's satisfying. I'm planning for the future. I'm not just, waiting to figure things out, or you're doing something that's active and what's the word? It's not preventative, but it's like you're doing it ahead. You're anticipating this need.
Proactive?
Yeah, proactive. You're being proactive. And
yeah. Now, I would also say
I mean, that's kind of a weird thought for
there's
camping,
something
but
about real estate that that adds satisfaction because it is physical and tangible. There are number nerds out there who do get a satisfaction out about watching their portfolio grow in the stock market, but it's something different about saying like, yeah, we planned for this rehab and we did it. And there's like this very tangible before and after.
That's true.
This place was not managed well. Now it is managed well. It wasn't cash flowing. Now it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's similar to camping where, there's this emotional investment in all of the planning and doing it and then watching it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Like one of the things you actually kept warning me about, because I was getting excited about our camping trip. And you're like,
yeah, it's true.
Got to be careful, like that your expectations don't get too high because this isn't like how it used to be when you were a kid.
Yeah, it was
and
like it's different people.
Yeah.
It's a different place.
But I definitely had that moment where we were all around the campfire, having dinner, hanging out, and I was like, yeah, this
is it.
That was all like, and it felt really good knowing that I had played a critical role in making that happen, just because I helped with some of the planning of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like that.
yeah, of course you do. Number 5, camping. Choosing a campsite involves assessing risks like weather, wildlife, terrain,
How
like
close the
time of
toilets
year,
are.
how close the toilets are. Yeah, against the rewards of a great location and experience, right? Because, for example, you might say like, well, I want to be in the woods where there's no one around, and there's some risks associated to that, right? So
Yeah.
there's this balance. Or for us, since we were doing family and we're trying to find a spot in the middle, it's like, okay, what works for everyone? So choosing a campsite, like where to go, involves assessing risks.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly,
location. Like in real estate, a bunch of people talk about that. Like location matters.
Yeah.
At least in assessing, like, is the market a viable market to be investing
There you
in?
go. Yeah.
Is this going to be profitable? Like, you don't want to just choose the first property that
what's
comes
the
up.
tenant pool? What are
Yeah.
the income to rent ratios?
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's risk involved
Yeah.
in each area that you have to
Is
assess.
there a big capital expenditure that needs to happen at the beginning, or
Right.
one that's going to happen in 5 years?
One of the things that you were talking about,
Will it get struck with
I don't even
lightning?
remember which property it was, but it was like, all right, like this property's out there, but the cost to get teams of people to do the work on the property
Yeah.
is significantly more because they just weren't local.
Right.
They weren't there in that city.
Yeah.
And so it was like, yeah, it was a great property, but the cost of rehabbing was way too high.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That was, yeah.
you know, it was like, you gotta
Gotta
weigh
those
that out.
And I think camping's the same way. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, you can go to a super popular campground that's going to have all the amenities. KOAs, I think, are great.
Yeah.
Things like that. But you're also in the sense of like, well, I'm not really
Giving
in
up some
nature.
privacy.
Yeah. And trees and things like that. And so, yeah, it's just like, it's finding that balance in between them. And I think, so again, I think real estate is very similar to camping.
Yeah.
And that, like, yeah, you're kind of assessing the risks. What am I willing to do with? You can even think in terms of camping time. How long are we going to go camping? Is the same as like, how long am I going to hold on this property? When our kids were younger, and you could make that argument like when you're just getting started investing, you may not be like, I'm holding this on for 30 years.
Right.
It might be more like, let's hold
Yeah,
it
I
for a
feel
little bit.
comfortable
See
for
where
like
we're at.
a couple years, maybe.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. I like this one. What are we on? Number 6?
6.
Trusting family members to handle specific tasks like cooking or setting up tents ensures a smooth running of the trip. So in our situation, we had 4 families. We were there for 4 nights, and each family took a night to provide dinner. And so one of the things that we had to do was trust that family members were actually going to show up and provide dinner.
Yep.
So similarly,
When you're investing with other people, you've got to trust that they're going to do what they committed to, and that they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And you know,
the best indicator of that would be how have they kept other promises leading up to this particular commitment.
Yeah, which, I mean, in this particular case, like, we haven't gone camping necessarily with these families before, but we've gone on trips before.
Yeah.
And I knew that they have done some of the things they've said. You know, I'll pack this, and then they had it. Or
Right.
I'll make dinner for everybody on this night, and then they did.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, oh, okay, I can trust. I had a level of confidence in them that was much higher than had I never done anything with them before.
Yes. And I would say similarly for investing in real estate, if you're going to partner with someone, like ideally they've done it before or some version close to it, and you can kind of assess how well they've done it.
Yeah.
Be my...
Can I build on that? Because I feel like,
Yeah, you can
okay,
build.
this might be one of your other
You're fine.
topics,
Build.
but I'm like, there is a piece to that made the camping so much easier because we partnered, and I didn't have to make dinner at 4
Yes.
nights.
Dude, that's great.
Which was like, this
That's a
is
bonus.
so much better.
Yeah.
Because I made it one night, but then the other 3 I could relax and I could share the load a little bit. And I feel like in real estate, that's the same way. If you're trying to do everything yourself, that's hard. And you have to learn everything. It takes more time. You don't have all the funding.
Yeah.
But if you partner with some other people,
It allows you to be passive.
yeah, you
At
can
least
rest
in some part of it.
at some pieces of it.
Yeah,
and
no.
trust. You do have to
Totally.
trust. There's more of a
Yeah,
trust aspect there, but it's better in the long run.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Number 7. Camping can be a time for personal reflection, right? Growth and developing new skills such as like outdoor survival or teamwork or something like that. So investing in real estate.
I'm sorry, I got stuck on the developing new skills, and there was one, our son, every night has to take a bathroom break, middle of the night, doesn't matter if he empties a tank, whatever.
I know.
That was a new skill to learn. during camping. Like,
Did he learn that skill, or did we just?
I was
clean all
talking
of his
about like
clothes that smelled like pee?
myself. Okay, we did that,
Oh,
but
okay.
also
Not him,
there was
you.
there was this learning curve. Like night 1, yeah, he wet everything. Night 2, I was like, all right, we're gonna get on this. I'm gonna make sure that he walks to where he needs to go. Like he doesn't have to go all the way to the bathroom. He just has to go to a tree. And I didn't fully think it through. I learned. So night 3 was great, but then that second one, he got up, was gonna go, and I had all my plans in order, and then he didn't want to walk off of the tarp because he didn't want to put his shoes on. I was like, he's gonna put his shoes on, then he'll go.
Yeah.
He didn't want to put his shoes on. He didn't want to walk off the tarp, so he walked to
I
the
get where he's
very,
at.
very edge, and just went there. And I was like, well, at least it's not in the tent.
Yeah, so it's an improvement. No, that's fair.
But yeah,
Yeah.
learning new skills. You learn new things. There's personal reflection
Yeah, and I.
in real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so, and this one's a little bit of a stretch, but I think with real estate, there's also that learning and growth period that comes in, whether that's learning to evaluate a sponsor, a deal itself, the market surrounding it. And I think, and oftentimes you're putting yourself in a new environment that you're not fully certain what it is that you're walking into. And so I think, there's some learning
Yeah.
there in both situations.
Yeah.
And I do also appreciate, just learning, periods of growth, and there are times of reflection. I spend a lot of time just thinking about my investments. How can I make this better? Things like that. All right, here's number 8. I got 2 to try on you.
Oh,
Yeah, this is number 8. I got 2 of them.
okay.
We'll see how they feel. Camping trips can create cherished family memories and traditions passed down through generations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so similarly,
Similarly in real estate, if you make certain investments that you buy and hold, or you, depending on how you are funding things, if you have a trust or something like that, like those are definitely things you can pass down generation over
and
generation.
even if you don't, right? Just that love and the knowledge of real estate investing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the knowledge of it, it definitely spans generations. And I think the other thing too is one of the things that we talk about is we're not just investing in real estate because you love it and it's amazing. It's like we have kids.
that is true.
It's true, but we have kids and we're wanting to set them up for success
yeah.
in different ways. You know, not just giving them everything on a silver platter, but saying like, okay, like let's think through and position
Yeah.
them in a place that in the future, like we could afford to pay for this or that, or give them options for
Right.
what they want to do, where they want to live,
Yeah.
like things like that.
Totally. Okay, 8B.
B.
Okay.
That one was pretty good.
Redwoods, because we were in the Humboldt redwood forest.
Yep.
So, redwoods grow slowly but steadily, reaching their towering heights over centuries. This slow growth requires patience but results in incredible strength and resilience. So, I think that's very similar, just in that, there's this long-term component to it
Right.
that can last generations.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better? Which one I'll go with? What's my official number 8?
I like the first one. I
Okay.
think a little bit better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although both are really good.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Number 9.
Oh, yeah.
Your camping experience. Whatever. Our camping experience was influenced by weather conditions, availability of fish in the river, because we got to do some fishing, and other environmental factors, whether or not it was like super hot or rainy, things like that. So similarly, our experience is influenced by conditions, fish in the river, essentially things we don't have control over.
Yeah.
Similarly, real estate.
Similarly in real estate, your experience is influenced by, what's available, where it's available, at what cost is
Yeah.
it available,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think there's something
might have to pivot.
too, which is similar to the risk piece, but it's more like you're walking in unknowns. Like we had never been in this campground before.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know. Like we brought, for example, a canopy to block the sun. We get there, there's trees everywhere, and we go, oh,
Yeah, I was like, didn't really
apparently
need that.
we don't need this. Then never left the car.
Yeah.
And so I think there's things like that can influence it. You could have something that was a really good investment, and maybe the market turned down, and you went, man, and it's just like
Yeah, you got rained out
just
or
one
whatever.
of those It's just one of those unknowns, and you just
Right.
got to know it walking into it. Camping is very similar. So you gotta be have a bit of a flexible mindset. Okay. Or like, okay, we're going to prepare for this,
Yeah.
but we don't know.
Or like another good example with the camping and real estate is like I prepared meals and snacks that were flexible. So it was like we could have this for lunch,
Right.
or if we got rained out or ran out of gas or whatever, we could have that for dinner.
Yeah.
So it was like there was enough flexibility that I gave options, which is in
Yeah.
real estate it's very
Optionality is
similar.
huge.
It's
right?
like,
how are we going to exit this?
Yeah,
We're gonna hold
yeah.
on to it.
Because something might change,
Yep.
or something unexpected might come up, or if you're investing in a new market, you have to learn
Yeah.
what that market
Yeah.
has and what's available and all those sorts of things. So
Totally. All right. Number 10, which I'm pretty sure is going to be your favorite, but we'll see. All right. This is it. Number 10.
number 10.
Sharing meals and activities with my extended family created a sense of community and shared joy.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I know. So similarly,
Similarly in real estate, it's exactly the same. It's like if you're doing
Yeah.
it all on your own, that's good, it's fine. But when you're doing it with someone else, it's a lot more fun.
yeah.
You're getting a shared experience. You're helping one another. I mean, that's the tagline that you use for this podcast every single time is like, we are working together, to improve like relationship, to improve communities, to improve housing. Like it's a shared experience that we get to do together. It's not
Yeah.
you and I like
That's
forging
my
a
big thing
path.
is build wealth and improve communities
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole
We're
idea
doing
behind it because it's more fun to do it,
is more fun.
with people.
Yeah.
That's something I'd like to figure out how to even pull my investor community together more. I've kind of, it's kind of been a one-to-many type of thing. I haven't had it turn into a many-to-many
that's
thing
an interesting. That isn't. Maybe that's another topic for a podcast. Is like, how do you create investor community or
Yeah.
relationship?
yet. Yeah, that's a good question. But anyways, that was it. So we went camping.
Yay.
It was a ton of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It met all the expectations I had. And like I said, I found a lot of ways in which camping is similar to investing in real estate.
Yeah.
So my question for you, listeners, is what do we miss? What other ways do you see camping as very similar to investing in real estate? Love to hear your thoughts just based on your experiences. And yeah, that would be great. And also, if you enjoy this podcast, we would love it if you left a quick rating along with your comment anywhere that it is that you listened to this podcast. And if you are interested in investing with us and learning more about what that means, you can check us out at furlough.com. And with that, thanks for listening and have a great day.